Do you guys remember what the rumored next game from Rockstar was going to be? It's been speculated for years, all going back to a LinkedIn post. Let me know in chat if you think you know what it is. It started because an employee at Rockstar posted to their LinkedIn profile a little smidgen of information. And it was very little, but yes, I see. Our Rip Wires got it first, I think. Ripwires got it first. Pog Ripwires. He posted on his LinkedIn profile that he was working on medieval architecture, which didn't make sense because at the time that leaked, Red Dead 2 was in production and we knew GTA 6 was coming after that. So we're like, Red Dead 2 doesn't need medieval architecture. The game came out, it doesn't have any. GTA 6 is coming soon. And as far as we can tell, there's no reason for medieval architecture. Funnily enough, one of the theories was that medieval architecture was going to be used because there's going to be an in-game version of Disney World, which would have been really funny. If GTA 6 had an in-game version of Disney World where you can like ride roller coasters and stuff, that would have been fun. It's not in the game. The leaks are pretty hardcore confirming that. So that leaves us with the evidence of an employee working on a medieval game, but there's nothing medieval in Rockstar's lineup. So people put two and two together and were like, oh, so the next game is going to be medieval. They're going to do a knights game or maybe a fantasy game. And that's going to be Rockstar's next big thing. After GTA 6, they're going to do Red Dead, but it's going to be freaking knights and dragons, which honestly sounds baller. Imagine a Rockstar scale game, but fantasy or even like grounded medieval, kind of in the same vein as like KCD. Bro, it would go hard. My dream is for them to do like a pirate game, but time will tell. Well, this, as you can see, this is a post from 2 years ago. There's discussions around this. Medieval Times games. They made Red Dead, so I know this will be amazing. There's lots of people discussing how they want also a pirate game. Dude, I would kill for that. Grand Theft Auto Medieval. It's made up, unfortunately, or is it? Well, I'm here to tell you something. It was real. Was. How do I know it was real? How do we know that they were in fact experimenting with something medieval? Well, because Dan Houser, co-founder of Rockstar, did a 3-hour interview. This is an older interview. Somehow, we didn't end up talking about this on stream. Lex asks him about things that were in the works at Rockstar, specifically DLCs for GTA 5 and Red Dead. And this is what is said with regards to an experiment that they performed around this time.
Yeah, Wow. Yeah, that's really interesting.
And then we played around with a knights concept that was knights and sort of trying to do a version of a mythological game that could have been fun and still love that idea, but never went very far with it.
Knights will be going really far back in history.
Yeah, I would have to go. It never got to writing any of it. Just did some backstory and played around with a few ideas, but it was it's always something I thought I would never do, and then kind of fell in love with it a little bit.
And that's it. That's all we get. They did experiment with it. They did try it, but never went very far with it. Now, to be fair, it's possible. Thank you for the 50 bits. It says, hello, handsome. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hello. Hope you're having a wonderful day. To be honest, it could still end up being a thing. Okay? A lot of studios will do kind of experimental pre-production stuff. They'll try a bunch of different ideas, and then they'll settle on one for the next game, next project. That's where they're going to go. But that kind of stays in the back of their head that, no, maybe one day we try that. Maybe we try that one day. So it's possible that they end up going into it after GTA 6. Never say never. Personally, I feel, based on all the interviews and things I've listened to and the things I've read and seen, my expectation is that they're not going to do Red Dead 3. They're not going to do GTA 7 right off the bat. I think they're going to do something brand new, a new IP. There's a few reasons for that. For one, it's just IP stagnation. I think Red Dead's story is pretty well tied up in a knot. They could go back and do a third game. I don't really know where that goes. The obvious thing is to do a game focused on Sadie. I think that could be really interesting, but where do you put it? What time period? Do you lean more into like a prequel maybe, or do you lean into a full-on sequel to Red Dead where the Wild West is really dying out, and so then is it even really Red Dead? So it's not clear where that goes. I would personally, I've said pirate game, but maybe that's not realistic. Personally, I would love to see a spiritual successor to LA Noire. okay? And hear me out. Hear me out. There's a reason to believe that maybe something like this could possibly happen, okay? Sort of. There was a company called Team Bondi. They were based in Sydney, Australia. This is the company that made LA Noire. But you can see there's an unfortunate little tidbit here. Defunct October 5th of 2011, 14 years ago. Basically, they were working on LA Noire. They built that out. It was published by Rockstar. So it wasn't made by Rockstar. It was published by Rockstar. But Rockstar used a lot of like their own tech, and they had certain quality standards. So it ended up feeling sort of like a Rockstar game, but it wasn't. Okay. The company was mismanaged, though. It was kind of a disaster. They worked on a sequel to LA Noire right after called The Whore of the Orient. Imagine that game launching today. I don't think people would like the name, but that was what they were working on. Okay. It never went anywhere. There were a couple of leaked videos and stuff, but it never really went anywhere. But years and years go by. That guy goes off and works on a few different projects, and he founds a new spin-off studio, and it does some support work for some Rockstar projects. But then in March of 2025, there was an update. GTA developer announces Rockstar Australia studio bringing LA Noire boss back into the fold. LA Noire boss Brendan McNamara is back within GTA developer Rockstar as the lead of the newly acquired and retitled Rockstar Australia. Rockstar's announced today it had brought McNamara's Sydney-based developer Video Games Deluxe following a decade of close collaboration on various Rockstar re-releases. It was Video Game Deluxe, now renamed Rockstar Australia, that swooped in to update the GTA trilogy port and fix it, following earlier work by another studio that was widely criticized for its poor performance. Video Game Deluxe also worked with Rockstar on the 2017 re-release of LA Noire, as well as the game's VR case files version. Of course, McNamara was responsible for the original version of LA Noire. He was its director and the co-founder or founder of its developer Team Bondi. LA Noire was a commercial success and its technical ambition was praised, but Team Bondi closed less than a year after the game shipped, following allegations of a toxic workplace, crunch culture during its 7-year development, and a furor over more than 100 people who worked on the project deliberately being left out of its credits. Quote, "The expectation is slightly weird here that you can do this stuff without killing yourself," McNamara told IGN back in 2011. Well, you can't. Whether it's in London or New York or wherever, you're competing against other best people in the world at what they do, and you just have to be prepared to do what you have to do to compete against those people. So he's just like, yeah, no, we crunched, and that's what we had to do to compete. But he is back now at Rockstar, heading up Rockstar Australia. I think they meant furlough. I think that's what they meant. But anyway, it's possible. Not likely, but possible. Especially like they didn't technically make LA Noire, so I believe they own the rights to it as the publisher, so they could do a sequel, but they didn't technically make it. So there you go. Give us Max Payne 4. I would see, most likely, I would guess they're going to do a reboot before they do a sequel, but it's now open. And what's crazy is that Rockstar is a company with thousands of employees. It's one of the most closely watched developers in the industry, and we have no idea what they're doing next. No idea. At this point, before Red Dead 2, we knew the next game was GTA 6. We don't know what's after GTA 6, which is very interesting. I don't know. I personally, like I said, I expect that if they're going to do something that's a new IP, I think they really swing for the fences. I think a sequel to LA Noire or a reimagining, a reboot of it could be really cool. But I think that Rockstar knows that when they do something, they need it to be something ambitious. I'm guessing it's going to be something nobody sees coming. And the other piece of this is that we know very, very well that studios really like to try and have like high diversity between projects because it prevents burnout. It keeps things creatively flowing because there's constant new challenges. And I think coming off of GTA 6, it would be nice for them to try something really different, which is why the medieval game made so much sense, because we saw it and we're like, okay, very different, total company reset. It works really well with their tech because their tech is really good at like big, wide open, sprawling environments, and that could be perfect for a game like that. With their dynamic NPC AI and stuff, it could be really, really cool. But time will tell. So I want to just point out that was in fact real. They did experiment with it for who knows how long. It was real that they were working on a medieval project that they were experimenting with. It never ended up really materializing, but maybe it does end up materializing after GTA 6. Who knows? But what we do know is that it was happening at one point. They did consider it, which means they could go back to it. Fingers crossed. I know I'm coping, but let a boy dream. Yes, Luke, the Slut of Asia would be much better as a name. Yeah, probably. It's just one of those names where you're like, yeah, marketing might give you a call. You know, they might be like, yeah, can we do something else? Maybe like the Lady of the East. Maybe we do that. That could work. They're like, no, it has to be whore. He took my thing. Red flag, red flag.